Wagwan gang, forever here, and today we are taking a look at a game called Elemental Knights that I picked up a few weeks ago on PlayStation 5 actually, and it's on PlayStation 4, it's on Nintendo Switch, it's on mobile as well because it's a mobile game originally, I believe, from the people I spoke to on Discord. Now, this game has been out for a very long time, apparently, but I picked it up recently over the holiday break because my raid team, my farming team, that I was playing with on Fiesta went on a break themselves, and so I decided to go ahead and play something else for a bit. And I started playing this game, and I fell in love with it. To be honest, I'm not gonna lie to you. I ended up having a lot of fun. I made some friends on here, as well from the person that I actually started playing the game with. Specifically, I made a few other friends on there. We started a little group that we've played with constantly since then. And so I decided to go ahead and make a video about this game because I thought this game should get more recognition and be played more people on PlayStation because a lot of people on PlayStation are looking for games to play right now, especially MMORPGs. And this game is an MMORPG. However, this game is under a price tag. Currently, the price tag is $7.99 because it's on sale. I bought it a year ago, back in May. Well, no, 2 years ago now. Back in May 2022, for 99 cents. It was on a very big sale, and I think the original price tag is like $9.99. If that's too steep for you, I'm sorry, but to be honest, I wouldn't say it's worth the price tag, to be honest, because it's a free game on mobile. The servers are separate, but the amount of gameplay you can get out of this game is it's up there. It's not just a game you'll pick up and finish within like a week or two. It's not a game you can solo smash through. It's a game that relies on the Holy Trinity, and it's a game that relies on you to have party members, especially at a certain point in the game when you get towards the end of your first section of your main story. The game starts to smack you in the mouth and ask you who the hell do you think you're talking to with all this solo nonsense. That's exactly what happened to us. We were like, man, I've sold this whole thing. It can't get that hard. Like we tried to go into this thing called the Dragon Tower, and we thought that was gonna be the content that we are gonna have to party up for, and that was gonna be the end game grind. The second part of the story mode decided that it was gonna show its whole ass to us and just like put us down and make us realize we ain't shit. And that's how it was since then. So day one I picked this game up, the day one that I picked the game up again, I logged in and I was running around trying to level up, and I was trying to convince my friend how to play, so I was on screen share, and I was leveling up, doing some quests and stuff, and he was like, laughing, asking questions, blah blah blah, and I ran into another player, and that player was with a friend, and I was like, oh snap, another person. So I jumped around. The MMO language of the game of the universe is jumping around. Show recognition. So I jumped around, ran in circles. Did the whole ritual, and then I went ahead and added that person to my PSN, and they accepted me, and so I created a party, invited them to the party. Turns out him and his friends just started playing the game as well, and they were looking for other people to play with, but they just got new. They were new to the game, and I was new to the game. We didn't have any information on the game. Turns out there's not much information on this game at all. So we kept playing, and we found two more people. These people, however, had been playing about a month longer than us, so they were a bit more positioned in the game. They had more information. They had a bit more education on the game than us, but they still didn't know a lot of things going deeper into the game. Now, I added one of them, and they added me back, and we created a bigger group for the five of us at the time. And the friend that I was watching, he decided he wanted to play, so we went ahead and added him to the group as well. So now it's six of us. Well, so from there we ended up growing into this group of six, and we started pushing outwards and playing through the game, leveling up characters, trying to catch up to where the original two that were a month in were, so we can catch up to content where they were, so they could get help clearing through content, because they were saying that they were a duo that only needed DPS, and they would do good from that point on. The game has a 4-party system, so we ended up with 6 people. So we just split the parties in 3 and 3. Whenever we have the full group on, we just split it 3 and 3. 1 DPS here, 1 DPS there, and then tank, healer. This game is heavily reliant on the Holy Trinity, especially on the tank and healer dynamic. As a DPS, sometimes you can get along with doing things, but you need a tank and you need a healer regardless for everything else. Tanks can get along with doing a lot of stuff alone, but it will drain resources. It'll cost a lot of money. Healers can get along with doing a lot of stuff alone. Once again, it will cost a lot of money to maintain. So the game has a lot of checks and balances to make sure you just don't power through the game solo. And that is a good thing in my eyes because there are not many games this day and age that have that type of mechanic to where it makes players have to play together. This game forces you to have to play together no matter what. Now there are points where you can get to like the end game where you are super overpowered and playing like one of the final classes, and you're overpowered to scrap and you can solo a level 57 boss or whatever by yourself. At that point, yeah, that's probably like when you throw in all your money at the game and blow up yourself and you're like, oh yeah, I got it all, I'm done. But between us, there's not that rivalry, there's not that competition. We're just kind of playing the game and doing things how we feel. Now, I said that there was spending money in this game. Yes, there is a sort of cash shop. There's a gacha system that lets you get costumes from the gacha pool with stats. And yes, they have stats. Yes, they have randomized stats on these costumes. There are sets you can get to get higher intelligence, higher strength, higher dexterity, higher agility, at the cost of another stat, of course, as well as higher attack rate, higher critical rate, higher casting speed, stuff like that. That makes the game a bit easier for a lot of classes, especially the class that I chose, Wizard. It is not a class that you can play straight out the box and expect to be doing everything. It is a class that probably needs heavy cash shop. Now, it doesn't need it to operate, but it does need it if you want to be overpowered. And I say this because the wizard has casting speed on its skills, and for the heavier hitting skills, the AoEs, you have a lot of cast time, up to like 12, 10 to 14 seconds of cast time. I think 15 seconds is the longest cast time I've seen so far, and I haven't even gotten my last skill yet. But aside from that, the cash shop isn't as oppressive as you would think, especially like I said, because it's not really a lot of competitive things going on in the game. We're like a group of 6 people. There's a few other players that we see. There are some Japanese players that hop on the English server. There are some Hispanic players that hop into the game, and we all kind of just play within our bounds. There's no real competing for spots or anything at the moment. And even if there was, it wouldn't be that big of a deal because things go on a drop by drop basis. So like if the person hits the mob that they need, as long as you're fighting it, they'll still get the drop regardless. So it wouldn't be like you'd be competing for any mob in the first place. And then there's a whole nother system of where the mobs sometimes don't show up to other people if they don't have the quest for it, so they can't just come in and smack a mob that you're fighting, even if it's a boss or something like this. If someone walked into the map right now and didn't have this boss quest in their in their listing, they couldn't see that we were fighting this boss. They'd see us standing here, doing actions, but they couldn't see this boss. Now, the game is not a fully open world game. It is a bunch of open maps where you can walk around through the map, explore the map, and run through different mobs. Some mobs have aggro, some mobs don't have aggro. There are bosses on the maps. There are field bosses, elite bosses, and then in the later areas, there are hyper bosses, which I don't even want to run into one of those, especially as a mage. I will get smacked. Um, but that being said, there's a lot to do in this game. Even when we thought we were close to end game, we are close to the end of the story, I believe. There hasn't been any updates to this game for a very long time, apparently. According to the unofficial Discord, they haven't really done any updates. They have done the of course the Christmas events, the Halloween events, the New Year's events recently, and they continuously do those events, especially as well as the anniversary events that happen yearly. I recently had one of the anniversary event things in my inventory from when I bought the game, apparently. So there are a lot of events that do go on, and they do keep events going. But as for any like substantial updates or quality of life things in the game, I'm not seeing anything happen. There were some sayings that people said that there were some more translations that came through recently to make the game more legible for English speakers because the game is native Japanese. So a lot of the text in the game is Japanese. However, there is a lot of it that is more English now. So, but it's kind of probably machine translated because it's kind of like broken English or just like nonsensical English in some senses, or just completely miswritten in English. But I believe I want to say that I hope to say that with some attention put on this game, the company behind this game will try to do some quality of life because I mean there's nothing wrong with this game, to be honest, besides the price tag. I believe that's the only thing that's wrong with the price tag. Wrong with the game is the price tag. There's nothing else wrong with this game. This game is pretty fun to play. You get a free gacha pull pretty much throughout just doing questing every day. Um, you get a lot of free resources. You get a lot of all the things you want to get. You can farm for. You can't buy the things you want to farm for. There is no marketplace in the game. There is trading in game, of course, but that leads to other issues if you want to pay attention to that type of I guess I would say trading. But of course, those things will be against the terms of service, of course. So don't do that. um, otherwise, this game, I feel like this game would be in a really great place if it had more players. There is a lot of people on the PC. I mean, not on the PC, on the mobile server, but like I said, the servers are not conjoined. The PlayStation server is separate from the Switch server. Switch server is separate from the mobile server, and we're all kind of just sitting apart from each other, which is kind of weird to me because it's like this type of game would probably benefit from having those servers conjoined. Um, but that would leave the PlayStation players at a disadvantage in the beginning because the I want to say PC, but the mobile players have had their thing going for a very long time. There are a lot of mobile players on the Discord that have played this game since the conception of the game and have not stopped playing this game. And so, but that's the case with any game really. There could be a lot of catch up mechanics, a lot of quality of life things to make it to where players can get back and get into the groove of playing the game with these high level players. But that's just something they could do if they decide to do that. I just wish that the developers of this game would take a look at this game if it gets some type of player boost to the economy. And honestly, I've been seeing a lot of people on PlayStation recently, like, well, not many, not like, surges of like 20 or so, but I've seen like at least 2 to 3 people every other day hop in the game, different IDs, different PSNs, hop in the game, run around. A few of them get scared and they run off because, you try to be friendly, and some people are just very anxious when it comes to things. I had one person actually that I tried to friend delete me from the friend list and log off the game after they friended me. And then I messaged them on PSN apologizing because, I felt like I kind of rushed at them. And they said, yeah, they're a very anxious type person, that they they really weren't used to people like, coming at them like that. And I was like, I'm sorry, I understand. I was kind of hyper energy because I wasn't used to seeing other people in the game besides the other people I've met before. So when you see someone new, you kind of just go like, oh my God, more people. And I had my happy puppy energy, and I was like, I'm sorry for that. And since then, they've kind of been like just chilling, and we've been chilling, but we haven't really had a conversation or played together. So I mean, it was not every situation is going to end the same like with the other 4 people that I started playing with. But we do meet a lot of people in the game. We've met another guy actually that came in from a stream that I did on the game on Twitch. Follow me on Twitch at It's My Forever, and he actually got added into our PSN group. So if you're going to play on PSN, let me know in the comments or hit me up on Discord. My PSN, my Discord are the same as my YouTube name. I make everything easy for people to find me. Also follow me on Twitch once again. But yeah, all that to be said though, this is a pretty fun game. It does have the holy train that people have been looking for in a MMORPG. It is a basic style MMORPG. It's basic in the sense of it doesn't leave too much to be explained. However, there is so much to be explained because there are a lot of systems in the game that we are still trying to understand when it comes to calculations of things and what certain things mean. And once again, translation errors could probably easily fix a lot of these. But until something gets done, until the developers pop in and make make more quality of life updates when it comes to this game, we won't know anything being concrete, let's say. And so here's to say, hopefully this game gets more attention. That way the developers know that people are still playing, and they do pop out more quality of life updates, translations, corrections to things that are in game, just so that we can get people on the same page. There's hardly a database for this game. There's like one database that I've been using that is mostly in Japanese, but it went down earlier because it was under attack, and then it came back up recently. And it's mostly in Japanese. You can translate it, but it's a lot of just machine translated stuff, so it's hard to get a lot of the true meanings of the words coming out of it. So hopefully, once again, the developers see, not even this video, someone else makes a video that's a bigger creator, they see that video and pump some information into this game, pump some quality of life into this game, so that the people that are playing will better enjoy this game. There is a Japanese server on the PlayStation Network, I guess I could say. By pressing options, you can actually open the server list, and you'll see the Japanese server and the English server. You can swap between them with all your characters if you want. And I didn't give you any information about how the character systems in the game work, but I guess I could do that in another video. I've kind of just been ranting about this. I mean, not really ranting, but kind of going on about this video. I mean, this game, and enjoying it pretty much. I've been yapping. Yeah, I've been yapping. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next video. This one's kind of just been what I've been doing for the last week, I guess. Week or two. So, peace.